Managing thin logical volume snapshots. Thin provisioning is appropriate where storage efficiency is a priority. Storage space dynamic allocation reduces initial storage costs and maximizes the use of available storage resources. In environments with dynamic workloads or where storage grows over time, thin provisioning allows for flexibility. It enables the storage system to adapt to changing needs without requiring large upfront allocations of the storage space. With dynamic allocation, over-provisioning is possible where the total size of all LVs can exceed the physical size of the thin pool under the assumption that not all space will be utilized at the same time. Creating thin logical volume snapshots. You can create a thin LV snapshot with LV create command. When creating a thin LV snapshot, avoid specifying the snapshot size. Include a size parameter. Including a size parameter results in the creation of a thick snapshot instead. Prerequisites administrative access. Prerequisites administrative access. You have created a physical volume. For more information, see creating LVM physical volume. You have created a volume group. For more information, see creating LVM volume group. You have created a logical volume. For more information, see creating logical volumes. Procedure. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. LVS-O LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. Identify the LV. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. LVS hyphen LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Identify the LV. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. LVS hyphen LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. LVS hyphen LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, pool underscore LV. So this is a new field attribute pool underscore LV. Identify the LV for which you want to create a snapshot. Pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Create a thin LV snapshot. So LVS hyphen O. LVS hyphen O. LV underscore name. LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name. Pool underscore LV. LV underscore size. LVS hyphen O LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, pool underscore LV, comma, LV underscore size. Identify the LV of which you want to create a snapshot. So I'm creating a thin LV snapshot. So identify the LV for which you want to create a snapshot. I'll create a snapshot for RAID 6. I'll create a snapshot for RAID 6. Log ball RAID 6. Create a thin LV snapshot. LV create hyphen snapshot hyphen name snapshot name volume group name slash thin volume name. So here the size is not mentioned. If I mention the size, it becomes a thick volume snapshot. If size is not mentioned, it is a thin volume snapshot. Create a thin LV snapshot. So while creating the thick volume snapshot, I provided the size here, and the thin volume snapshot, I'm not giving the size. Create a thin LV snapshot. LV create hyphen snapshot hyphen name snapshot name volume group name slash thin volume name. Replace snapshot name with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace snapshot name with the name of the replace snapshot name with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace snapshot name with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group that contains the original logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group that contains the original logical volume. Replace snapshot name with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace thin volume name with the name of the thin logical volume that you want to create a snapshot of. Replace thin volume name with the name of the thin logical volume that you want to create a snapshot of. So LV create hyphen snapshot. LV create hyphen snapshot. LV create hyphen snapshot hyphen name snapshot name. So the snapshot name is thin logical volume snapshot, thin log wall snapshot. Thin log wall snapshot is the name of the logical thin log wall snapshot volume group name slash thin volume name. Volume group name slash thin volume name. Volume group name slash save slash wall group 200 slash thin volume name. I want to create a snapshot for the logical volume thin volume name log wall rate 5 rate 6 log wall rate 6. So thin logical volume snapshot and the name of the thin volume name. Thin volume name is slash dev slash wall group 200 slash log wall rate 5. Replace thin volume name with the name of the thin logical volume you want to create a snapshot of. Verify that the snapshot is created. LV create hyphen snapshot hyphen name thin wall snapshot name thin log wall snapshot and the volume group name slash thin volume name slash dev slash wall group 200 slash log wall rate 6. Replace snapshot with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace snapshot with the name you want to give to the snapshot logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group that contains the original logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group that contains the original logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group that contains the original logical volume. Replace thin volume name with the name of the thin logical volume that you want to create a snapshot of. So enter. Specify either size or extents with snapshots. Specify either size or extents with snapshots. So here I am giving only thin logical volume, thin volume name, thin volume name I am giving thin logical volume actually, thin logical volume with the name of the thin logical volume. It says name of the thin logical volume. Here I need to specially mention only the thin volume name. I cannot give any other volume. I have to give the thin volume name only. So when I give the thin volume name log wall thin wall, so I'm creating a snapshot of the log wall thin wall actually. Log wall thin wall, this one. I'm creating a logical volume of the log wall thin wall. LV create hyphen snapshot hyphen name. Thin log wall snapshot. Thin log wall snapshot. Slash type slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Sum of all thin volume groups. Sum of all thin volume sizes 16.46 GAB. So sum of all thin volume sizes is 16.46 GAB. Exceeds the size of the thin pool. Exceeds the size of the thin pool. Wall group 200 slash logical wall thin pool and the amount of free space in the volume group. And the amount of free space in the volume group less than 15.72 GAB. So logical wall thin wall snapshot created. Logical wall thin wall snapshot created. Verify that the snapshot is created. LVS hyphen LV underscore name comma origin. So verify that the snapshot is created. LVS hyphen LV underscore name comma origin. LV underscore name comma origin. LVS hyphen LV underscore name comma origin. So thin log wall snapshot is a snapshot of the thin logical volume log wall thin wall. Thin log wall snapshot is a snapshot of the logical volume log wall thin wall. Thin logical volume log wall thin wall. Additional resources merging the LV create and LVS man. Merging thin logical volume snapshots. You can merge thin LV snapshot into the you can merge thin LV snapshot into the original logical volume from which the snapshot was created. The process of merging means that the original LV is reverted to the state it was in when the snapshot was created. Once the merge is complete, the snapshot is removed. Prerequisites administrative access. So what merging thin logical volume snapshots. You can merge thin LV snapshot into the original logical volume from which the snapshot was created. The process of merging means that the original LV is reverted to the state it was in when the snapshot was created. When means when the snapshot was created. Once the merge is complete, the snapshot is removed. Once the merge is complete, the snapshot is removed. The process of merging means that the original LV is reverted to the state it was in when the snapshot was created. Once the merge is complete, the snapshot is removed. Prerequisites. List the LVs, their volume groups and their paths. So first I will make a directory and I will mount the thin volume kind of snapshot. I'll only mount the thin volume and then I will unmount it so that I can complete this complete this process. mkfs.ext4 slash save slash wall group 200 slash thin log wall snapshot log wall thin wall. So it already contains a file system. So I don't want to proceed. So it already contains a file system. I just create a directory slash mnt slash mnt my make directory hyphen p slash mnt slash mnt slash thin logical volume snapshot. Thin logical volume snapshot. Mount hyphen t. Mount slash save slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall on slash mnt slash thin logical volume management thin logical volume snapshot. I'll create a file there, touch slash mnt slash thin logical volume snapshot slash Red Hat Linux, and I will add content into that file slash mnt slash thin logical volume snapshot Red Hat Linux thin logical volume snapshot control D cat mnt thin logical volume snapshot slash Red Hat Linux. So it is a thin logical volume snapshot. So list the LVs, their volume groups and their paths. LVS -o, LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, LV underscore path. LVS -o, LV underscore name, LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, LV underscore path. LVS -o, LV underscore name, comma, VG underscore name, comma, LV underscore path. So thin log wall snapshot. This is a logical volume of the volume group 200, and for the logical volume slash save slash wall group 200 slash thin log wall snapshot. For the logical volume, I will give the origin parameter also to know for which snapshot I created for which logical volume I created the snapshot. So for this is for log wall thin wall, log wall thin wall. Check where the original LV is mounted. Find MNT FNO source comma target slash save slash volume group name slash thin volume name. Check where the original LV is mounted. Find MNT -o source comma target. Check where the original LV is mounted. So slash save slash volume group name slash thin volume name slash save slash wall group 200 slash thin log wall snapshot. Sorry, it is log wall thin wall where the original file system is mounted. Original LV is mounted. Original LV is mounted. Find MNT -o source comma target slash save slash volume group name slash thin volume name. Replace volume group name slash thin volume name with the name to your logical path. With the path, with the path to your logical volume. With the path to your logical volume. Now you mount the LV. Unmount the logical volume. You mount slash thin logical volume slash mount point. You mount slash thin logical volume slash mount point. You mount slash thin logical volume. Thin logical volume slash mount point. Replace slash thin logical volume slash mount point with the mounting point for your logical volume. Replace slash thin snapshot slash mount point with the mounting point for your snapshot. Replace slash thin logical volume slash mount point slash thin logical volume slash mount point with the mounting point for your logical volume. With the mounting point for your logical volume, replace slash thin snapshot slash mount point with the mounting point for your snapshot. So I have not created a mounting point for the snapshot. Let me create a mount point for the snapshot. Make directory -p. slash mnt slash mount thin log wall snapshot. Okay, anyway, this step is not required as I'm going to unmount it. I'm directly unmounting the thin logical volume. Anyway, if this is mounted, the snapshot is mounted, you need to unmount the snapshot also. So unmount the thin logical volume mount point. Thin logical volume mount point, you mount slash save slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Unmounting the slash save slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Deactivate the LV change hyphen activate n volume group name slash thin logical volume name. Deactivate the LV change hyphen activate. So first I need to deactivate the LV change hyphen activate in volume group name slash thin logical volume name. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group. Replace thin logical volume with the name of the logical volume. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group. Replace thin logical volume with the name of the logical volume. LV change hyphen activate n, that means deactivate the logical volume. Volume group name slash thin logical volume name. Volume group name wall group 200 slash thin logical volume name log wall thin wall. So it is deactivated now. Log wall thin wall, I can check the LV display log wall thin wall. Just type LV display command. So log wall thin wall. See, you can see the status is not available. Log wall thin wall is not available. Log wall thin wall is not available. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group. Replace thin logical volume name with the name of the logical volume. Merge the thin LV snapshot into the origin. Merge the thin LV snapshot. Merge the thin LV snapshot into the origin. LV convert hyphen merge thin volume group name slash thin snapshot name. LV convert hyphen merge thin. LV convert hyphen merge thin. So merge the thin LV snapshot into the origin. Thin LV snapshot into the origin. LV convert hyphen merge thin volume group name slash thin snapshot name. LV convert hyphen merge thin volume group name slash thin snapshot name. LV convert hyphen merge thin. LV convert hyphen merge thin volume group name merge thin volume group name slash thin snapshot name. Volume group name slash save slash wall group 200 slash thin snapshot name. Thin snapshot name is thin log wall snapshot. So wall group 200 slash thin log wall snapshot replace original wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Volume wall group 200 slash thin log wall snapshot replace original wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Log wall thin wall. Merge the thin LV into the origin. LV convert hyphen merge thin wall group name slash thin snapshot name. Replace volume group name with the name of the volume group. Replace thin snapshot name with the name of the snapshot. Mount the LV. Mount the LV. It says mount, actually they have given you mount. Mount slash thin logical volume slash mount point. Mount slash thin logical volume slash mount point. So mount slash thin logical volume slash mount point. Thin logical volume slash save thin logical volume slash mount point. Mount point is slash mnt slash thin logical volume snapshot. Mount slash save slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Okay, so here thin log wall snapshot replaced origin wall group 200 slash log wall thin log wall snapshot. Mount slash save slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall on slash mnt slash thin logical volume snapshot. So log wall thin wall, it says doesn't exist. See, they have missed one step. LV change hyphen activate y volume group name slash logical volume name. That is why this is not showing anything here. When I try to mount, it is not showing the logical. It is not showing the thin logical volume. Log wall thin wall, it is not showing it. So first activate it LV. So they have missed this step. LV change hyphen y activate y and then volume group name slash logical volume name. Volume group name slash logical volume name. What is the volume group name? Slash dev slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall. Now it is activated. Now I can try to mount it. Mount slash dev slash wall group 200 slash log wall thin wall on slash mnt slash thin logical volume. Thin logical volume snapshot. It is mounted. I can check the contents here if there are anything. I created a file. I can check that file here. Thin logical volume snapshot. Okay, there is nothing here in the snapshot. I have not put any file here. I have just mounted it in the directory. I have not put any file. So I can. So they missed this step actually in the documentation. So they have given new mount here and they have not mentioned the deactivate activate command. So I mentioned it and I am able to now mount the thin logical volume in the with the mounting point for the logical volume. Verify that the original LV is merged. Verify that the original LV is merged. LBS-O. The original LV is merged. Verify that the original LV is merged. So you can see that the snapshot which I created doesn't exist now here. What is the name of the snapshot? Thin log wall snapshot. It doesn't exist. It is merged with a thin logical volume log wall thin wall. It is merged with the thin logical volume log wall thin wall.